One of the most common questions I get asked in chat every stream is, Juz, what's a good Kaizo hack to start with? And I always have a few hacks that I have in the back of my head to answer this question, but I've never really got a specific list that I can refer to. So I thought I'd finally address it, and here it is. First, I want to give you a short history lesson on where it all started. Kaizo Mario World was the first ROM hack, also known as Arsehole Mario, and was released in 2007. The literal translation of the Japanese title is making my friend play through my Mario hack. The word Kaizo is Japanese for rearranged or restructured, and Kaizo Mario World is the reason that the whole genre of difficult Mario hacks are now categorized under the term Kaizo. Kaizo ROM hacks were originally recognized as being notoriously unfair and were thought to be beatable only through the use of save states. This meta changed dramatically as players began attempting to beat the original Kaizo Mario World without any tool assistance, until eventually many actually did, and this prompted other creators to make their own Kaizo hacks. There's no one correct way to learn to play Kaizo, and it really comes down to what you think will be more fun. Some players will want to dive straight into the deep end, while others will just want to dip their toes in and avoid excessive grinds needed to clear levels. It really is personal preference, and these days there's an option for everyone. That being said, newer players can be a bit overwhelmed on where to start due to the sheer volume of hacks that exist now. My first recommendation for anyone wanting to get started with Kaizo would be to play through the original Super Mario World game and get a handle for the physics and the mechanics. Super Mario World handles very differently to Super Mario Maker and other newer 2D Mario titles, and getting familiar with the movement and controls is absolutely crucial. Anyway, onto the Kaizo hacks. I'm going to start with the beginner-friendly hacks that I highly recommend checking out, and then the rest of this video will focus on borderline intermediate hacks for those of you that don't know where to go next. A reminder that all of the links to these hacks can be found in the description below, and if you're not subscribed, you should totally subscribe. One of the most common recommendations to begin with is Learn to Kaizo by Nexus 15. This hack features short one-trick levels with message boxes explaining how to perform them. These trick rooms range from avoiding hidden blocks, to understanding chuck gates, to performing shell jumps, to duping blocks, and in the late game, even learning some intermediate cape tricks like sticky fly and flight storage. Every so often, the hack throws the player into a short level that aims to test their understanding of the tricks by chaining them together, slowly building the player's confidence and introducing them to the reality that dying in Kaizo hacks is going to happen a lot. Test number 2 is notorious amongst players as it's the first choke point of the hack, potentially holding progress for hours. The other castles all feature one or two tricks that will certainly test your experience from the previous training rooms. There is, however, that one room that many players dread, the double shell jump. At this point, most of the basic mechanics have been shown to you, and it's safe to say that you can put this hack down and start playing through a full-fledged Kaizo game until you're ready to return and learn some more advanced mechanics. The next ROM hack on this list is Quickie World, released in 2018 by Valdio. This was designed to be the go-to hack for new players, whilst priming itself as a hack to replay when wanting something short and enjoyable to fill in some time. Because of this, it became one of the most speedrun Kaizo games to this day, continually drawing in new players to the Super Mario World Kaizo community and introducing them to their first potential speedrun. It features a variety of level themes that cover jump regrabs, P-speed, blindly falling, layer 2 mechanics, chucks, and on-off switches. The difficulty is predominantly consistent, with perhaps some hiccups in Tower of Power, but more notably the final level of the any percent category, where players are faced with the infamous Sawfring Castle. This level is often viewed as being too difficult for the hack it's featured in. However, it teaches newer players that not every level is going to be, quote, easy, and that sometimes there will be some inconsistency in the difficulty of Kaizo hacks. One thing's for certain, the satisfaction and the sense of reward for clearing a difficult level after many hours is worth the perseverance. Quickie World 2 is Valdio's 2019 sequel to Quickie World. It's perhaps slightly more challenging than Quickie World, but is considered far more consistent in difficulty, and even the better choice between the two in regards to which one should be played first by newcomers. It features a wider variety of level themes, including star runs, skytree, bomb rushing, P-speed preservation and slope sliding, and showcases a nice throwback to the first Quickie World by bringing back its most challenging level, though it's not quite as tedious as it was before. There are 2 switch palaces that are optional, which are used to creatively make the game easier if you choose to collect them, adding some replay value for players who want to play the game again using different strategies to challenge themselves. Kurosu Mario World is the first known beginner Kaizo hack released to the public. Created by Chris G in late 2016, it grew in popularity as new players migrated from Super Mario Maker to Super Mario World, and quickly became a popular speedrun due to its simplicity and abundance of speed strategies, as well as its ability to remain challenging. Heavily inspired by Kaizo Mario World and Super Dram World, it's recognized as a great stepping stone for players looking to jump into more challenging hacks, and it's not afraid to slam you with some filthy invisible blocks. While it features an any percent and a 100% route, my personal recommendation is to play through the any percent levels and revisit the hack later for the 100% levels, as they're quite a step up in difficulty for newer players. The second hack that gained popularity amongst beginners was Super Gracie World by Whitemoth. Like Kurosu Mario World, this is another ROM hack that grew a decent sized speedrun following. The levels are short, with several not even containing midway points, and feature a few more timing based tricks and gimmick type levels than some other hacks in this list. One of these, simply named Bill Kaizo, is based entirely around escorting a bullet bill, which is eventually needed at the very end of each section, one of the few levels in the hack where timing's forced. Most other levels allow the player to continue when they're ready, such as this level revolving around shell jumps. If shell jumps are a trick that you struggle with, then this level's great for practice. It also features a water level that's intentionally not a full water level, bomb explosion bouncing, and everyone's favourite, fishing boo. There's a star world beyond the main game with several much more difficult levels that should satisfy players wanting more from Gracie World, and I encourage everyone to check them out. Noiso's Baby Kaizo World sets out to build upon the foundations of Learn to Kaizo, in that each level is based somewhat around a particular mechanic, where simple explanations of what's expected of the player can be found in the message boxes placed throughout the levels. It's rather long, with a 31 exit any percent path, where locating secret exits and clearing the bonus switch palaces will gain access to several more difficult levels in the Star World. Each level is designed to not only teach the player how a mechanic or level style works, but it ensures that you have a reasonable understanding of the techniques needed by forcing the player to complete a short gauntlet, with many of the later levels reintroducing mechanics that were taught earlier in the game. Take It Easy World is the newest recommendation on this list. As a 2020 hack, it stood out most to experienced Kaizo players because of its unique take on creative tricks and setups that hadn't been seen in ROM hacks before. While it's not exactly an easy hack, it falls towards the harder end of the beginner scale, and I'm keeping it here because I believe it should be a staple for all Kaizo players, irrespective of skill level. Unlike many of the other games on this list, this hack features a sprinkling of custom assembly code which introduces players to modified sprite speeds and custom mechanics. Standout levels include this water level where as the player falls, the level palettes get darker, this custom lotus flower boss that homes its flames at Mario, while trying to grow a baby Yoshi that can eventually be used to eat it, and this ghost house where the player races and guides a boo laser to the end of the level. If you're chasing a friendly starter hack, then this is probably not your go-to, but I absolutely suggest giving it a play after you've cleared at least 2 to 3 other easier hacks. Okay, so maybe you're not interested in starting with something super easy, or maybe you've cleared all these hacks and you're looking for something a bit more challenging and don't know where to go next. Here's my recommendations. Kaizo Mario World is the ROM hack that started it all. It was released in 2007 by T. Takamoto, originally made for a friend, and later became the grandfather of all Kaizo Mario games. Compared with Kaizo today, this game isn't too difficult, bar a couple of very tight tricks like this notorious frame jump or the infamous third lava dolphin. Of course, it also features plenty of hidden blocks, which are now commonly referred to as Kaizo blocks. It became the blueprint for most Kaizo hacks and features level themes that are still seen in abundance today, such as Ultra Star, which revolves entirely around fast-moving platform jumps, a 5-room castle where each room is a short but challenging obstacle following particular themes, an ultra-fast auto-scroller, and plenty of trolling. In this hack, Bowser's also invisible, but it's not so bad if you're familiar with the fight from the original Super Mario World. Whether you're a fan of this hack or not, it's incredibly impressive for its time and deserves props for its legacy and the genre of game design that spawned because of it. Super Glitch Catworld is one of the earliest Kaizo hacks to feature some custom gimmicks. Created by Nexus 15 in 2016, this game sets itself apart from the others by outlining every hidden Kaizo block in an attempt to avoid trolling the player and instead forcing very particular and difficult jumps that the player can see. Custom graphics and music give it a more unique feel, as well as beautiful palettes inspired by Bonsai Mario World, another popular hack from 2015. Unlike a lot of other ROM hacks, this one contains no secrets and instead follows a linear path from beginning to end. Some jumps can be incredibly tight or specific, some a little long, others quite cryptic, but this hack wasn't made to be anyone's first ROM hack, and with some experience under the belt, is one of the more enjoyable and sadly underrated hacks for its time. Just don't get discouraged by the water level near the beginning. Super Hark Bros is Chris G's third ROM hack, and it shows. Each level feels consistently polished and remains unique to itself. It's mostly vanilla, however features some sprinkling of custom mechanics that give it its own flavour, like this level which transforms moles into saws or Eries into Galoombas. Each level is relatively short with fairly placed midways, and like most Kaizo hacks, pays homage to the Kaizo trilogy. Chris G set out to teach jump regrabs in this hack, and players will notice many jumps require a decent grasp of jump control. It also features one of the biggest shell jumps I've ever seen in a hack, a running left level, and some short cape spin flight. Akagari Mario World is a 2018 ROM hack by Megascott. Popular amongst Kaizo speedrunners, this hack's recognized for evolving players' jump regrabbing skills and is almost entirely vanilla. It refuses to hold the player's hand and instead encourages tight and skilled platforming. For most newer players, this is the best hack to jump into after running over the beginner Kaizo hacks I mentioned earlier, simply because once jump regrabs are understood, most other hacks will become much easier by nature, as this is one of the most core mechanics required in Kaizo platforming. While Kaizo hacks were initially recognized for their punishment of the player, they've evolved dramatically in recent years. Don't get me wrong, these are still extremely challenging, however the skill ceiling has been raised so far now that there is something out there for everyone, and the sense of accomplishment after clearing something that you once thought was unattainable cannot be described. At the time of this video, there were already over 200 Kaizo ROM hacks available on SMW Central, with more and more being created by fans as the community continues to grow. More players are picking up ROM hacks after making the jump from Super Mario Maker, or catching speedruns and blind races at marathon events, as well as watching Twitch streams and YouTube videos. If you think you aren't capable of playing and beating this stuff, give it a go and I can guarantee you'll surprise yourself. I hope this video has provided a solid answer to those of you looking for advice on getting started, and if videos like this is something you want to see more of, then let me know in the comments. I'm also interested to hear how your Kaizo journey goes and which hacks you found best helped you. Maybe they're not even on my list.